Okay.
And do you get do you get flu vaccine?
No,
I used to get colds,
yeah.
evening and cold, but I have got flu vaccine and it improved, and
Ah, does it work?
yeah, it worked very well. It worked well.
Ah, that's perfect. Since I think that this is the second time in two
Uh,
months. This is the second time. Yeah, that's really annoying. I don't know why. Maybe because of the changing weather. So we have better weather. It's getting better. So maybe because of this. But I think if it works, it's really good. Since I don't know, it's really annoying, especially about the voice, and I need to talk a lot, and it's
yeah,
really annoying that I can't. But this
yeah,
time is really better. This
yeah.
time is I'm really actually I can say good now, and I'm feeling well now. Since
Mm.
the last time for I think 2 or 3 days I didn't have voice. I
Oh,
couldn't talk.
yeah,
Yeah, now it's okay.
yeah,
Yeah, but I think I need I need.
yeah,
Well, so let's see. Of course, this is just Rule 47. A set
yeah.
of personal standards. Just let's read it since we have nothing to do with this word. It's like, a rule. It's not bad to know it. So let's read and then we keep going with our new topic.
Yeah.
Richard Templer's book, The Rules of Work, provided the 109 rules to follow in order to be successful in business. Rule 45 requires that you know the ethics of your industry. Ask yourself, what does your industry or company contribute to society? Is the contribution positive and beneficial or negative and damaging? How much a part of that industry are you? If your answer to this question leads to you believe that your industry is thing that doesn't necessarily, of course, mean you have to hand in your note today. After all, you can always try to change things from the inside. However, if you are ever faced with the ethical dilemma of crossing the line and doing bad things, then you will need to set personal standard. This is Rule 47. Rule 47 requires you to set personal standard which you won't break for any reason, such as I will not break the law in order to further my career. I will share my skills and knowledge with anyone who would benefit in the same industry. I will not be jealous of anyone else's success in the same industry. I will always put my family first before work, and I will not work evenings or weekend unless it is an
Yeah.
emergency. Oh, let me. So let's talk about the standard. Do you have the standard? So actually, I want to have, but I can't. So
Yeah.
especially about this one, I will not work evening or weekend. What is this? What is this?
Yeah,
Well,
I only work. I only study at the weekend. Yeah, and long time ago, I don't work at the weekend or evening.
yeah,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah. Sometimes it's urgent problem. Yeah, I have to work.
Yeah, of course. It's like, yes, that is really good to have standard. Yeah, if if it doesn't have any negative effect on others, so it's
Yeah,
okay. So for example, yes, I will not break the law. So this is perfect. Of course we
yeah,
don't. Or for
yeah,
example, I will share my skill and knowledge. That is perfect. But about, for example, this one, yeah, of course, we try to put our family first, but sometimes,
yeah,
it's not possible. We are responsible, and actually we work for our family, like
yeah,
you have to support them. So of
yeah,
course they are the first. So I think about maybe I can say that some standards are really good, but in theory, when it comes to reality and real life, they are not really functional.
yeah,
So of course, I think these two, but
yeah.
it's really good to have some personal standard. Do you have, and have you ever set a personal standard for yourself?
Yeah, I have I think I don't think it's standard, but I think it's my rule of priority.
Yeah,
So the first thing I always to set family in first
yeah,
priority, and
yeah, of
uh,
course.
and the problem health in my
Yeah,
family, the problem health is first priority, and I can drop anything to when my family who have the problem in health, for
yeah,
example, I can cancel any meeting to take my children or take my wife to go to hospital
yeah,
if if they
yeah,
face any problem. And
yeah,
the second thing, I priority work, and the third is study. Sorry,
yeah,
that's why I don't come. I will not commit with homework, right? And
yeah,
I talk with VIP English when I start course that I don't have any time when I when the class season end. Yeah,
yeah,
because,
of course.
I know that is I try in the class time. So after that I move on to the new task. Yeah,
Of course, you're
yeah,
right. So definitely agree with you since I'm
yeah,
not the one for homework. So forgiven and asking. So
yeah,
I'm not the one. Maybe it's not, I don't know it. Maybe it's a little different. But I think if you want to learn, you can learn during the class.
yeah,
After that, yeah, of course, just you can check the video and then you can review what you learn. So what is
yeah,
that? If you want, since actually when it comes to adult, it's
yeah,
not a good way, for example, to ask you, okay, write this and what is this? Okay,
yeah,
so of course, everyone is
mm,
really busy and we have strict and busy schedules, really busy schedules. So it's not a good way to give some homework, assignment. Yeah, of course, I think you can do it. It's like, when the class time ends, of course, you have lots of things to do
yeah,
and you need to deal with different things. So, of course, it's not really essential. Yeah. So having standards, of course, is really good. But if we can, sometimes we can't,
yeah,
yeah, sometimes we can't actually set or we can follow or we can keep going. So different factors that affect our decisions and our standard. But of
yeah,
course, we try to do and we try to consider morality.
yeah,
So not to affect people negatively, just this. And the others, of course, is related to you. Well, uh, actually today, let's keep going with desperate. We have making decision. And the
yeah.
first question is really good. I like the first question. How much do you think our personalities affect our decision making? Do you think they
It's
affect or no?
I think it's very important because I have I see the word the phrase that do things right important than do right thing. That means the way and the goal and the purpose and a strategy is very important. So
Yeah,
it's the first important. So after that we can do the right way. That means the how to do it. Because
yeah.
when you pick your goal is very well, that means you do right thing.
Yeah, of course. And
Yeah.
it's
After
like,
that,
for example, let's
yeah,
talk about, for example, extroverted and introverted people.
yeah,
So, for example, how they make decisions. So let's think about this. So let's compare. Of course, I definitely agree with you.
yeah,
Personalities can significantly influence decision making.
yeah.
People with different personality traits often approach decisions in unique ways. So what is
Yeah,
that? For example, we have extroverted people. Actually, yeah, they tend to be more spontaneous.
mm,
But on the other hand, introverted person, you
mm,
know, might prefer to reflect and
Yeah,
analyze before
yeah,
making a decision.
yeah, yeah.
So that is
Oh,
really, yeah. For example, people with high, people, we can say conscientious.
yeah,
They're
yeah.
high in conscientiousness might be, I don't know, more careful. But we, on the other hand, for example, I don't know, adventurous or openness people, they might to take risk. So
Yes.
definitely different. So we have different characters and uh, different, of course, maybe approaches for decision making. Now, I want to ask you. So, of course, you have a really complete perspective about
Yeah,
your character. So tell me, how about you? When making decision, you trade like, and maybe introvert, like for example, you think you try not to take risk, maybe react, consider different aspect, or no, just, just try
yeah.
to, yeah.
I think I am a balance. I really I really want to uh, get high achievement. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, and sometimes I think something very carefully, but in the some situation I think I can metric to balance
yeah,
and I think personality very important when people make decision. It
of
depend
course.
on yeah it depend on personality of the people. Some
Yeah,
people they want to wet rig every day, or
yeah,
they make decision very quick, and they
of course.
and yeah. But some people they want to uh, calculate very carefully.
Yeah,
So
of
uh,
course. Yeah, of course. So like as you said, we have reflect
yeah,
and analyze what introvert people do. So of course
yeah,
we know that they reflect, they analyze, and we have on the other hand we have uh extrovert. They are tend to be more spontaneous.
yeah,
Yeah, it's like, impulse, they act in impulse way, just so they don't think, maybe they decide and do something, maybe they take more risk.
yeah,
Okay. And we can say that some people are really, for example, conscientious people, careful. So they try to be, I don't know, consider different aspects. So we have another actually where they are really organized. So conscientious
yeah,
people are typically organized and responsible. They're careful, about what to do, about consequences, so and what not to do. But
mm,
yeah, okay. Now let's read this text about personality and decision making. Which personality type? Let's see. Uh, think it's important to be on time, punctual, enjoys an argument, find it hard to concentrate on one thing at once, and is more interested in the future than the past. So let's see, all into mind. Are you an extrovert or an introvert? Are you, let me ask you, are you extrovert or introvert?
yeah. I think people they always have introvert and extrovert. The problem that the percent of introvert or introverts is bigger.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think most of time I am introvert person. Yeah,
Yeah, but sometimes extrovert, right?
yes,
So you
when
are ambivert.
yeah.
You are ambivert. Sometimes
Yeah.
extrovert, sometimes, yeah, of course. It's like, yeah.
In the situation and in the atmosphere that's family and friendly, or the in the network of people I know, I think I am extrovert.
Yeah,
and,
of course.
and second situation that if a task for business or for something, I think I am extrovert. But
Yeah.
yeah, but more of time I am introvert. Yeah, I like to
Yeah, of course.
sit on a room and read the book and drink coffee and thinking.
So
I
you
think,
keep yourself to yourself. So
yeah,
actually try to be alone. So if you have
yeah,
time, so of
yeah,
course, try, not to, sometimes we are not actually in mood to communicate, to talk to other people, just stay, I don't
yeah,
know, room, reading, listening to music. So you tend to keep yourself to yourself. So we
yeah,
use this idiom, it's a good one. And yeah, if you have both qualities, like, introvert and extrovert, you can be considered as ambivert. So you are
yeah,
an ambivert, yeah.
yeah.
Okay, let's see.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah.
but I think most of people they ambivert because most of time they depend on the situation they react. I think that's
Yeah, but maybe. So for example, now I'm thinking about it. Actually, I've never, yeah.
sometimes I
Yeah.
see my friend, he is an uh, introvert person, but
Yeah.
in some party when they bring some beer and bring some wine, they become
Yeah, of course.
introvert
Actually,
person.
it's a thing. Yeah, of course. Yeah, I do agree. So it's totally different. Like, um, because actually the difference when introvert and shy. So
Yeah.
sometimes you are not introvert, you're shy. So they're slightly different. And let me say, actually, I've never thought about this side of it that you can be, yeah. But now I'm thinking when I'm getting older, actually, my character is definitely extrovert. So like I consider myself a but as extrovert, but now at this moment,
Mm,
step by step, I think that I'm getting a little, I don't know, maybe introvert, like
mm,
I didn't comparing to the past.
mm,
So I can say that in the past, I could easily, for example, I don't know, my character wise, a little different from what I have. Now I tend to, as you said, sometimes I feel like that, okay, it's better not to be really extroverted. So it's
mm,
better like, yeah, so we decide maybe, but we consider actually maybe the higher person of our personality. For example, I can consider myself as extrovert, so it's
mm.
like most of the time. But
Yeah.
of course, sometimes I feel like that no, it depends on the situation or, for example, the person that I'm talking to. But yes. And of course, when you are drawing, so it's like definitely
Yeah.
yes. Your character is totally different. You're
Yeah.
kind, you are
Yeah.
extrovert, you're happy, you're funny. For example, I have a friend
Mm,
and she's really serious,
yeah.
really. I can say that she never, so of course, or I can, we've been friends for maybe more than
Mm,
12 years, but
mm,
she always just, like strict and serious. But when, okay, just if you want to see her laughing, just take her to the club, some
mm.
drink, and that's it. She start laughing.
Yeah.
She's so funny. She's so kind. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe drink helps people to show the real character. Don't you
Yeah.
agree? Yeah, I don't know why it happens. That is so interesting.
Yeah.
So, but it's really helpful. So, yeah. Are you an extrovert or an introvert? Extroverts are often outgoing and enthusiastic. They're
Yeah.
good with people, enjoy public role. They prefer to do lots of things at once and can be easily distracted.
Mm.
They're talkers rather than listeners and can be impulsive.
Mm.
Introverts are often self-contained and reserved. They can be very focused when working in tasks and prefer to focus on one thing at a time. They're good listener, they think before they act and prefer to be behind the scene. Are you a sensor or an intuitive? Sensors are often sensible and pragmatic. They're good on details and remembering facts and specifics. They are reliable and methodical and work at a steady pace. They trust their own experience and use established skills. Intuitives are often energetic and creative. They like to focus on the big picture and on future possibilities. They like things that are new and different and prefer to learn new skills. They are thoughtful when making decisions and trust their instincts. Are you a thinker or a feeler? Thinkers usually take a rational approach to decision making and prefer to remain detached. They're honest and direct, valuing fairness. They can be ambitious and critical. They take few things personally and like arguing and debating issues for fun. And feelers are often instinctive in their decisions rather than relying on fact and reason. Tactful and diplomatic, they avoid arguments and take many things personally. They appear warm and friendly, like to be appreciated, and are good at complimenting others. Are you a judger or perceiver? Judgers often make decisions easily and quickly. They appreciate plans, rules, and schedule, and are usually punctual. They are determined, keep to their deadlines, and like to complete projects. They are serious and conventional and like decisiveness in others. And perseverers are often indecisive. They like to be flexible and to keep their options open. Being unconventional, they dislike rules and deadline. They like to start project and prefer to play now and work later. Yeah, let's see our different characters. So first of all, let's talk about this word. So the first word, outgoing, extrovert,
Mm.
friendly, sociable. So let's give some synonyms. Okay, it's not bad. So let me write there here. Okay. So outgoing, we can say sociable and friendly. So this is the first one. And we have the second one that is impulsive. Do you know the meaning of impulsive?
Mm. Mm. Yeah, I think some word is new, so
Of
we
course, of course. For
have to.
example, impulsive,
Yeah.
impulsive, as I
Yeah.
just said, spontaneous. What is that?
I,
People who, sorry, I couldn't hear you.
yeah, yeah.
Of course.
Can you explain again?
Of course, impulsive is the synonym of spontaneous. What is that? People who act without thinking or considering the consequences. For example, if you are an impulsive shopper, it means you go shopping, you don't think about, I don't know, your budget, you don't think, just you shop, you buy something that you like. So that is impulsive. It means without thinking or
Yeah.
someone who acts without thinking and considering the consequences. This is the meaning of impulsive. And for example, we have a phrase, a collocation, impulsive shopper. So they are not planned. Just they go
Mm.
shopping, they spend all they have, and that's it. And we have the third one that is self-contained.
Mm.
Independence,
Yeah, but
self-contained. Yeah.
I have a question.
Of
You
course.
said that impulsive,
Impulsive.
uh, the impulsive opposite with
No,
spontaneous.
this is the synonym. This
Ah,
is the
yeah.
synonym, yeah,
Okay,
of
okay.
course. And uh, we have self-contained, that is independent. Self-contained means independent.
Mm.
Yeah. Focus, of course, you know the meaning of focused. And we have pragmatic. So what is the meaning of this word, this adjective? Actually, we can say a good synonym that is practical. So people who deal with things in realistic and practical way. They are not actually rely on theories. They are
Yeah,
not idealistic. So they make decisions, they do things in a realistic way. So this is, I want to give you a good synonym that is practical and logical. So we can say pragmatic, like practical and logical. And creative, of course, you know the meaning of this adjective since we use it a lot. And we have thoughtful. That
yeah,
is really good adjective. Considerate and caring. So thoughtful means someone who thinks about others' feeling, other needs. So considerate, kind.
yeah.
So considerate and caring. So this is okay. Rational, logical. So rational means if you make decision based on reason, you not emotion, rather than emotion, you are rational. So if you make a rational decision that is logical, reasonable. So rational means, let me like, logical and reasonable.
Mm.
So it means you analyze and then of course you make decision.
Yeah,
And detached, we can say, of course, detached can have few meaning depending on the context. So if you you are uninvolved, you actually are not influenced by emotions or personal connection. For example, if you are detached, you are indifferent. You know what is that? So emotionally, I mean, emotionally uninvolved. So detached
it
means
it's synonym with independent.
no, let me say,
Dependent.
no,
Independent.
no, I say, no, they're totally different. Okay, why? When you
Mm.
say emotionally, when you are independent, okay, it means you can make decision, you rely on yourself, your ability, that is really good. When
Mm.
you're detached, it means emotionally you indifferent. It means you are not influenced by emotion. No emotion. When making decision, you don't think about this person is my family, this person is my friend, or for example, if I make this decision, I think that this is good decision. Okay? I think this decision is right even if it has, I don't know, if emotionally negative effect in my friend. This is the meaning of detach. It means you separate your feeling and your logic. So you separate. This is the meaning. Yeah.
Yeah.
For example, uh, if we are not detached, this is an argument. For example, we are having an argument. You and your friend are talking.
Mm.
I think, since I know you, I take your side. So I try to take it. But when I remain detached, I don't take side, no matter whether you are my friend or not. So this is the meaning of detached. Okay. And instinctive. So I think you know the meaning of this word, instinctive. Do you know?
Mm, uh, it's ability.
Of
Yeah,
course.
come from
Of course.
come come from nature people.
Of course. It's like, yeah, sometimes you are natural with something. What
Yeah,
is that you have, like, you know, you can feel, you naturally actually react. So that is really good. Yeah, it's like natural, a good synonym. So you
yeah,
automatically just, you know, make decision. It's something related to actually your inner feeling and emotion. Yeah.
yeah.
So yes, you're right. And the next one, that is tactful.
Mm,
Tactful, like careful, considerate. What is that? Uh, if I'm a tactful person, I try not to do something that's actually affect you in a negative way or upset you or
mm,
offend you. So you know what I mean? It's like I am considerate. I am polite. Not polite, it's like, you know, careful and considerate is better.
mm,
So careful, let me write it here, and considerate. So you consider if what you're doing may, for example, upset your friend or, for example, other people. So that is really important to know how to use it. It's like careful, but careful and considerate. Okay. And the next one, that is, okay, determine. So you know that determine when you are sure about what you do. So it's like, for example, determined people make decisions since they have actually strong intention to
mm,
achieve something. They continue. They don't change their mind when they want to actually achieve their
yeah.
goals. So this is the meaning of determined. So it's like you have strong intention, you are like, you know, and you have persistent despite challenges, you keep going, you continue. And
Mm,
if I want to give you a good synonym, I say persistent. Persistent is good.
yeah.
Okay. Well, and do you have any idea about the meaning of conventional?
Mm, it's like follow your rule.
Yes, like typical. Yeah,
Yeah,
the people who, like, you know, accept and follow standards, yeah, like, you know, they
yeah.
are, I don't know, yeah, of course, yes. Yeah. And we have, and of course, it's like, you know, can be a method. For example, you can use not only about people, so you can say, for example, something. Okay. Well, and we have the next one, that is indecisive. So how about this one? Perseveres.
Uh,
Perseveres. Let me say, okay, let's talk about, since it's not a bold. Here we have perseveres are often indecisive. So what is the meaning of persevere? It's like someone who pays attention, who notices, I don't know, just small details, you know, they are perceiver. So for example, someone who interpret or someone who understands things in a certain way. Just, it's like, they pay attention to small details rather than others. So this is perceiver. And the next one, that is indecisive. What is the meaning of indecisive? Do you have any idea?
That means the people they not clear about the
Yeah,
situation, so they
yeah, of
don't any
course.
decision at that time.
Of course, they're unsure. As you said, they have difficulties when making decision.
Yeah,
So they're, yeah, of course. And the last one, that is flexible. So flexible, you know that. Someone
flexible.
who can, yeah,
Flexible means flexible.
of
Yeah,
course, flexible means flexible. Someone who can adopt and be adopted in
yeah,
different situation, of course. So they have ability to accept and to follow others' opinions. And for example, they can change. So,
yeah,
okay. Well, and now let's see, let's keep going. Okay. And we have, are you a sensor or an intuitive? So what is the meaning of this intuitive, like natural? Again, we have, they have instinctive. They have some feeling inside, they're insightful, they understand, they have ability to understand uh,
yeah,
how something happens without, I don't know, reasoning. So it's like, they have something. Okay.
yeah,
Well, now we talked about the meaning of these words. Okay,
yeah,
now we have the definition of them according to the explanation. Let's match the adjectives to the text with the statement.
yeah.
Okay. Number one, so we have I'm not influenced by other people or my emotion. So I'm detached. So
Yeah.
first, I do things in a careful and well-ordered way.
Mm, conventional.
Conventional, why? So, but careful and well-ordered way.
Mm, I miss the truthful. Can you explain me again one more time?
Thoughtful,
Yes,
thoughtful,
thoughtful. Yeah,
thoughtful. As I told you, people who think, I just, you can say considerate and caring. I just type here.
yeah,
Consider people who, yeah, think about, for example, different aspects. Okay. So thoughtful is thinking, someone who thinks about
yeah,
others' feeling. Yeah. And, but we have, let me say something that is really important. If you are deep in thought, again, you are thoughtful. For example, if you seriously think about everything, again, you are thoughtful. So that they are, depend on the context, you can have two different meaning, slightly different. For example, thoughtful can be reflective. You deeply, seriously think about everything and then you reflect. So reflective can be another synonym. So caring, considerate, and reflective. So you can use this one again. Okay. Uh, so we say, do you remember I said methodical? What is that? Someone who tries
yeah.
to, yeah,
Mm,
decide in a logical way, careful, organized.
yeah, yeah,
So this one is better.
yeah, yeah.
The next one, I find it hard to make up my mind, but I'm not sure it means.
I find hard to make up my mind.
You are not sure, so you are. What do you think about indecisive? What do you think about this? When you are not determined, when you are not sure, you are indecisive. You can't make up your mind. You can't make decision. So it means you are indecisive. Do you agree?
Yeah.
And on the other hand, we have
Yeah, yeah.
opposite adjective.
Mhm.
So we have opposite adjective decisive. So you can use this. Decisive is the opposite of indecisive. When you
Eh,
are sure, yeah,
yeah. Can
yeah.
you clear about the make up my mind? That mean
Make decision.
oh
Make
yeah.
decision.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I
Okay.
think it's in indecisive in indecisive.
Indecisive.
Yeah,
Indecisive. Yeah, of
indecisive.
course. Yeah. And we have the opposite adjective for indecisive, that is decisive. You can have this one as well. Decisive, I just typed here, means sure, means determined. So when
Yeah,
you know that, yeah, what you want to do, so this is
yeah.
decisive. Okay. Well, the next one, that is, I focus on what I want to do and don't let anyone stop me. Persistent, like persistent.
Determine.
Determined, of course. Very
Determine.
good.
Determine. Yeah.
Very good. And I do things based on my own feeling.
In in instinct.
Instinctive.
Yeah,
Of course,
instinct.
instinctive. Of course.
Yeah, instinctive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm happy to change my plans when necessary to suit my friends.
Flexible.
Yeah, of course.
Uh,
And
flex, flexible. Yeah.
of course. Confident and friendly.
Mm, confident and friendly.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
uh, it's rational, right? Oh,
yeah, no.
rational
Rational is logical, so it's different. Okay, here, it's like confident and friendly. So you are outgoing, don't you agree?
yeah, yeah.
So if you're, yeah, of course, you're confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
Okay.
And the next one,
A lot to think about. Okay.
and I like to think about things carefully.
Rational.
Actually, here, let's consider thoughtful. Do you remember I told you that we can
Yeah.
say that thoughtful is someone who thinks about the friend? So here, thinks deeply and seriously. So here, let's consider thoughtful.
Mm,
I can produce new
yeah.
things using my imagination. Of course, it's really easy.
Creative.
Creative, of course, creative. And I do what is normal and acceptable. Standard, I follow standard.
Mm, conventional.
Definitely yes, very good. And the next one, I'm sorry, I make decision objectively, not subjectively. Objectively, like logically.
Yeah. Rational.
Definitely, yes, rational, of course. I don't do things that will upset or annoy people.
I don't. I don't do things. Upset mean what does it mean?
Sad, sad, make people sad, upset,
Oh
sad.
yeah.
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 Or annoy people. So I am
Yeah. Yeah.
tactful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, tactful is good one. I
Yeah.
depend on myself. 13.
Self
Independent.
self-contained.
Definitely yes, self-contained. I pay careful attention to what I'm doing. Concentrated and
Uh, pay 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 careful. Focus.
yes, of course.
Yeah.
And I do things as I think of them without considering the consequences.
Pragmatic.
No, I do things as I think of them without considering. Just, I take like impulsive, as I told you, like impulsive shopper.
Uh,
So it's like, you do something without thinking about, consequences and different aspect of it. So impulsive.
Impulsive. Yeah.
Yeah. And I like to find practical solutions to problems. This one is pragmatic.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. This one is pragmatic. Okay. Well, okay, now I want you to actually tell me about your personality. So tell me which ones are true about your character. If you want
About
to
my
describe this, of
about
course,
my own character.
of course.
Yeah. I think I am determined.
Determined,
Determined.
of course.
Determined. Yeah. Determined.
Yeah, very good.
And ra rational.
Rational, that is really good.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
I don't want to answer to find the reason for any task, anything I want to do.
So you try to find a reason behind it, right?
Yeah.
Logical reason. Yeah. So you're rational, of course. And
Mm. Yeah. Sometimes I think I am focused.
sometimes you're focused. Oh, that is so cool. Sometimes you're focused. So not all the time.
I think I have focus characteristic or
Yeah.
personality. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's like sometimes you can, but actually you can be distracted by something, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Sometimes because I don't know, but sometimes when I in my job I
Yeah.
have to work with very different people and different, yeah,
Yeah,
so
of
that
course.
means I easy to
To be distracted.
yeah to be distracted and
Distracted. Yeah.
pay attention more in sometimes that's
Hmm.
make disturb to me, yeah.
Yeah, of course. So when distracted, so distracted and
Yeah.
unfocused are two actually
Mm,
opposites for focused. So
mm,
sometimes you're distracted and focused.
mm.
Well, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And flexible.
So flexible. That's really good.
Yeah.
I think it's really, especially at work, it's really important to work with flexible people. Yeah, they can change and can be changed, everything. So that is really good. Well, and let's see. Yeah.
I also in some situation I'm not sure. For example, when do something new, yeah, I think
Yeah.
I feel in this decide,
Indecisive. Yeah. So you're
but
kind of indecisive.
yeah, in some new thing I don't really know. In that situation, yeah, I think so hard to make decision.
Yeah, of course, when you are not sure, but actually, if you always, so if you are a kind of indecisive person, like, you always have doubt. So that is different. So sometimes, of course, it's really normal. So especially when making really important decision, of
Yeah,
course, everyone has, just like uncertainty or, for example, doubt. So it's really dilemma, like, oh, I don't know if yes, if no. But so sometimes, but if this is your personality, so your character is so different. So it's always you have this problem. You can't.
no, I
Yeah.
don't. It's
Yeah.
really when it only when I do something new, or yeah, most of them is something new, or when I receive some new thing,
Yeah.
or yeah, and I don't know how to clear and how to get new skill to yeah, to make decision, but it's
Oh, of
not
course.
always, yeah, not really.
Yeah, of course. So sometimes that is really normal, of course. It should
Yeah,
be. Yeah. Since you are, I think you are thoughtful.
yeah,
You are thoughtful rather than indecisive. You think
yeah,
deeply about different, actually, side of everything. Then you can make decision. So this
yeah.
one you're more, yeah. Well, and other adjective, so just them.
Sorry.
Okay, so do you have any other adjective that you want to use to describe yourself or no?
Yeah, when I see all of the word, I think some situation I have it,
Of course,
but it's
I
not
do agree.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like that. Okay, yeah, this one, this is me. Again, yeah, I feel like that. Yeah, and this one, yes, definitely agree with you. So sometimes, but I think the best adjective. So let's actually talk about the best characteristic for
Yeah,
people who you can work with.
yeah,
So what do you think? I think being flexible,
yeah,
maybe determined, creative. So what do you think? What are the best qualities
yeah,
of people who you can work with easily?
yeah.
Which one of them can be the best qualities?
Sorry.
Which one of these adjectives can describe best qualities of someone who you can work with? So if you
Yeah.
want to choose someone to work with, okay, what adjectives or what qualities you consider?
Um. Yeah, I think when I want to work with some people who are creative or who commit, that mean, and I think because I think I am a flexible and determined, and
Determined, of course.
yeah, and some because yeah, is that is my characteristic. So I think the people who have in the same characteristic maybe feel me
Yeah. Yeah, you
feel
try to find something in common.
yeah,
So
yeah,
with people who you work with, so they should be determined just like you. Got it.
yeah. And I always to want to I always to think in the logic or logical
Logically.
and reasonable when make decisions. So yeah, and I respect I expect people who work with me, they
To
have the same
be.
Yeah.
Of course, got it. Yeah, of course, we try to find something in common with people who we work with, and it's better. It makes our work easier. Well, okay, so let's skip this topic since there is no time to talk more.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
thank you. So have a great weekend. Of course,
Yeah.
busy but great.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank
And
you.
see you.
See
You're
you,
welcome.
see you on
Of
next
course,
time.
see you. See you next week. Goodbye.
Yeah, goodbye.
Goodbye.